Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jamie Haddon, and I'm here today at the Firestore headquarters to help present Blazemark, critical data when you need it most for pre-incident planning. Today, our presentation is going to be done by the lead principal and fire protection engineer for Blazemark, Greg Jakubowski, who is also the chairman of NFPA 1620 for pre-incident planning. Greg?
Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are in the country or on the continent or around the world. Welcome to today's presentation webinar on Blazemark and how to do pre-planning today when you need it, so that the information is available when you need it most. All right, so let's give just a brief history. My involvement actually in pre-planning started in 1981. I developed my first pre-plan of a mid-rise apartment building that was not sprinklered and has actually had several significant incidents since then. And to my knowledge, that pre-plan is still used today. It was a hand-drawn site plan of the building with some basic information. And in the ensuing 30-some years that I really don't want to think about since then, we've come a long way, baby, as they say. Today, we want to tell you just a little bit about Blazemark and how easy it is to do pre-planning in the 21st century, right? So our software was originally developed back in 2008. It's been out for about 10 years, and we're now at version 2.0. We've pre-planned all sorts of different things, millions of square feet. We have buildings, but we've also pre-planned rail lines that carry hazardous materials and passengers. We've pre-planned tunnels. We've pre-planned highway interchanges. And the Blazemark software handles everything that you can think of to pre-plan, down from simple to complex. It can even pre-plan vehicles if you want to pre-plan ships, cargo ships, cruise ships, airplanes, anything like that, but was originally designed primarily for buildings. The clients out there who use Blazemark can be fire, EMS, police. It's used by a number of major businesses, Fortune 100 corporations. It's used by healthcare systems and any type of a facility that might have a campus type environment. Blazemark works wonderfully for. All right, so today, why are we here? We're here with the Firestore, and we're really, really happy to be partnering with them. Of course, you already know the Firestore, and that's why you're here and you're connected with them, because they'll sell you everything but the truck. And starting now, they'll sell you pre-planning software. So we are launching our partnership with the Firestore today, and then very shortly in 2 weeks, we'll be out at FDIC 2018, and we'll be out at booth 110 demonstrating Blazemark. But you don't have to wait till FDIC. You can start your pre-plan today, and we'll talk to you about that as we close out the presentation. Right. So what is Blazemark? How does it work? The thing that's important for you to understand is that it's cloud-based. It's a browser-based I'll call it software, but it's really browser-based. It's like an application for you. You don't need special hardware. Any web-enabled device that you have will work fine with Blazemark. You don't need to load software onto a computer, onto anything like that. And the beauty of it is because of that, you can have unlimited users on the system. You can have unlimited data in the system. We don't limit you to, you can only put in 5 or 10 photos, and because each one's 2 megabytes or whatever. There's unlimited data available to you, and unlimited real-time sharing during an incident, which is really where you're going to see the benefit of this product. So it's easy to learn, it's easy to edit, it's easy to share. For those of you that have joined us on Facebook Live, sometimes I hate to say this, and I'll probably have somebody chasing after me, but it's really as easy to use as Facebook. So if you're already using Facebook, you could use Blazemark today, right? Some of the other beauties of Blazemark is there's global real-time updates, meaning that when you make a change to that pre-plan, if you're out there tonight on an incident and you find out there's a hydrant out of service, for example, or there's something broken, or they put something new on the building, you take a picture of it, boom, you load it right into Blazemark, and you've got a global real-time update of that. Throw your binders out. As Jamie mentioned, I chair the NFPA 1620 pre-planning committee. So we're trying to make sure that our software is directly aligned with that program. It's aligned with NIMS requirements, and it's affordable. You can start today through the Firestore for as low as $995. You can instantly generate a PDF. So if you're concerned about, well, you know, maybe there's this one area in our district we don't have internet access, or I want to see a hard copy, you go into Blazemark, you hit PDF, and you download a PDF right away. If you have hydrant data, we just uploaded thousands of water supplies for somebody, and it took a few minutes to do that. They can be mass uploaded as long as you have some data on your hydrants already out there. You can integrate any other web-based resources. We find so many places these days have web-based cameras that are accessible to you, but we also do pre-plans on things that have runoff issues to rivers. You can link real-time water data to that, to your pre-plan. So you can be accessing real-time information of many things that are around you right in the pre-plan. Blazemark also allows you different user permissions, meaning that, hey, I want to share this with the other people in my department. I want to share it with police. We give them read-only access. You maintain author access to it, and there's an administrator that controls all that, and that's right within your department. All right, so again, Blazemark allows you to access critical information when seconds count. It can certainly be out there and save lives and property. It's out there to protect your people. What dangers, what hazards are there? It's immediately you load it into Blazemark, and it's available not only to your shift, who might have done a walkthrough of a place, but all the different shifts. If you're a volunteer department and you only get some of your members out to drill, you can share all this information with the folks who didn't get there. Allows you to use all your resources more efficiently. Hey, we don't want to go to the last to the building, the front of the building, when the fire's in the laundry room and I need to go to the back for that. You don't need to make major software purchases. You buy a subscription to Blazemark through the Firestore, and you get the data security updates right through that program. There is a report with frequently asked questions available at thefirestore.com. And for many of you concerned, it can help you improve your ISO score. Pre-planning is a key item on the ISO schedule. So again, it's easy to learn, use, edit, and update. There's 24-hour online help for you. It's an inexpensive solution. You directly connect to our development team for improvements. Many of our users already have given us suggestions. We make the changes real time, and they're implemented right away. And people are like, wow, you just made that change. Because we're all people that are emergency responders. We're using this. We know the importance of the improvement, and you can quick access the home screen through an app style button. So we're going to move now to a demo of the software at this point. And the first thing that we want to show you is how easy it is to create a pre-plan. When you have your particular organization that's out there, and in this case, we're using a demo organization called St. Bart's University, or St. Bart's Fire and Rescue, rather. You saw a map that came up with a lot of pre-plans because we're demoing this product all over the country, right? So we create a pre-plan in the Firestore, and we're going to actually show you a pre-plan that's done here in Blazemark that can be done very, very quickly. And we're going to do the Firestore's location right here that we're at, and show you a facility that will is similar to ones that are in your location anywhere. So the Firestore, it's a bit of a commercial, a bit of a warehouse, a bit of industrial. Jamie here is working the computer, and he's going to enter an address. You'll see just a general map comes up, but as he starts to enter the address, it'll allow you to pick the location that you're at, and it'll bring that map up, and it'll locate the facility right where it is. Jamie changes the map to a satellite. You'll see we are indeed at the Firestore location on Independence Way in Coatesville. You can put contact information in. You can put notes. You can even put secure notes in there for certain facilities that may not want all their information out shared with everybody. So you'll see the fire store location came up as the address. Jamie will be able to move the icon around and put it into the building. We have a building on the left, a building on the right that says Cumberland Insurance Group, but that building is a brand new second building for the fire store. So the Google Maps haven't even been updated yet, but we'll make the pre-plan be more updated than Google Maps were. We could build structures in for each of the different structures here. We can add water supplies in, staging areas, and we're going to show you all of that in an actual pre-plan itself. So let's go to a demo pre-plan, and we'll show you this particular pre-plan is a sample university campus. And on that campus, there were multiple structures. So we've drilled down into the structure. So we, in a pre-plan, we look at the whole campus. We look at the things outside the building first, and then we drill down into the building. And in this case, it's the chemistry building. You can navigate. You see the toolbar across the top allows you to, you can either slide the toolbar across, or you can click on any of the choices that are there to bring you into something specific. Hey, I want to know where the drains go because there's a spill here from this facility. Jamie could have clicked on the drain and gone immediately to where do those drains go. They go to a retention basin, a sanitary sewer. He can also drag the toolbar back and go back up to the top of the pre-plan to start up there again. Things that we can do, so that's navigating the system. Things that we can do with Blazemark include in almost any area in the pre-plan, you'll see as we go through, you can add photos and attachments. So if I want to put pictures of something in the pre-plan, I can do that. If I have water supplies, I can add a picture of, if it's a draft point. In this case here, you'll see photos of the fire department connections, and you can pull those photos up of the building. Within our photos, you have the ability to edit that picture. So if Jamie wanted to go in and add arrows that show where the FDC is, where the fire pump test header, that's all done right in the Blazemark pre-plan software. You can add things, change things, and then save it. So you don't need another software package to be able to modify the photos. As you said, we're in the structure, we're in the building itself. The floor plans, they are something that you would need to have to bring in from an architect, an engineer, or you could do the floor plans. We do it oftentimes in a Adobe Illustrator, but if you get that floor plan in some other mode from the builder, you can add the arrow for the Knox box and the access and that type of thing right in there. So that's our ability to do photo editor. So we showed you the navigation. Now, one of the beauties of the software is that we get asked very often is, hey, Greg, or Jamie, there's a lot of information in there. I'm on the first in engine company. I don't need to know all those different things. I got about 3 or 4 minutes to get there, and I need to know where the basic water supplies are, what's going to kill me. So we have what's called a quick action plan. You see the QAP already in there. Those are the first things that you want to see when you're arriving on the building. You can change the template for there. If it's a building, we have templates for airfields, templates for rail lines, and we're continuing to build other types of templates that are out there, or you can customize your own template for what you want. You can customize the quick action plan. If there's something in a building that you want to see, we've already added the fire department connections in the quick action plan. But if you you have a building that has something on the roof that you want to point out, you can go into that part of the pre-plan and put it in the quick action plan. So we looked at the narrative, which is on the left-hand side here as we go down into the structure. And there's plenty of place for you to put lots of words in there if you want. We looked into water supplies. Once you load water supplies in your district into the system, they are available to you for any pre-plan. So you don't have to add the water supplies over and over again. You can have, the system will already choose for you a set distance for the water supply from the building, from the location to the water supply. If you have, for example, let's say that hydrant number 1 says 2 point some miles away, But that hydrant, perhaps you can lay through a field, do a hand lay through a field to get to it, and it cuts a mile off of that. You can make the distance custom if you want. And again, you can do bulk imports of these water supplies. And we just did, I think, about 1,700 supplies for a local department in about 7 minutes. You can go to the floor plan of the building is next up. And again, we showed you some floor plans and we showed you how to edit that. Access to the building, we can go into the fire department connection. We can show more. If you have an access that you want to put up in the quick action plan, you could do that. But you're seeing as you scroll down, and Jamie went to, how do I get to the main entrance? How do I get to the lockbox? Do I go into the basement of that area? Any of those types of things we can look directly at here in the access. You can add as many of these as you want. How do I get to the roof, the computer room, any of that sort of thing? On the roofs, you have a lot of different choices. It's easy to add. You have construction choices. You can put descriptions in there. You can add pictures to there. If you leave something blank in Blazemark, like you left the description blank, it will not show up, because we understand at an incident, you don't want to see a pre-plan that has a lot of NA, not available type of things there. We can do shutoffs in Blazemark, right? You can put as many shutoffs as you want. You can have photos of those shutoffs. If it's hiding that gas line that's behind the bushes, Jamie, if you want to click on that for just a minute, right? So we could add a photo in there to show where that gas line actually is. And then under, we can go to hazardous materials inside the building. You can have them inside the building, outside the building. You can show different types of materials. If the material's already entered into Blazemark, it'll pop up right away. And we have hot links to the NIOSH Pocket Guide. We have hot links to Wiser, and we have hot links to the to the ERG, the DOT Emergency Response Guide. So, you know, to kind of close out here, right? Things to think about with Blazemark is you can share this information with mutual aid partners instantly, all right, and take away. When they become part of it, you can mutual aid share with any of your mutual aid companies that you'd like to share it with. You can add start their name in there and find them and say, I want to give them access into the pre-plan. You can link any other type of online device. If we have facilities that have online access to all their MSDSs, that can be linked into the system. As we said, cameras, we're seeing cameras in all sorts of different places there. There you actually see, as I want to share with the fire store, if I'd like to do that. You can instantly convert a pre-plan to a PDF, which allows things to be printed out, allows things to be emailed, or saved to a local computer if you're concerned about that. There's the PDF to that. It's very easy once you're set up with the system to be the administrator. You can add users very, very easily. You actually can invite users by sending them an email. It's very, very simple to do to manage users. And we have literally thousands of users. And we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 million square feet already pre-planned in the system, but that doesn't include hundreds of miles of rail lines, highway interchanges, and other things that we haven't had there. So at this point, we've gone over some of the key things that we wanted to talk about with this. You can also track the activity log. So if we want to know who's been in the system, who's accessed the system, we can see exactly who that is and run a tracking on the system so that we're not getting unauthorized users in that information. All logins are a login with a username and a password, and it individually identifies those folks who are out there using the pre-plan. So there's a lot of security that's already built into this. We have security systems in there that won't, if you're trying to log in from another country, perhaps if someone were to steal some ID and try and get in, our system's smart enough, it'll actually lock you out until you get permissions from an administrator to do that. So the key thing is here, we want the right people using it at the right time. This just shows as the overall pre-plan, not just the individual structures, but back in the overall pre-plan, here you have the ability to add staging areas, helicopter landing zones, triage areas, any of those types of things. Individual icons can be put on the pre-plan. There you see some different icons. You can put in an icon that represents a specific building, like the BCC on the left. The hydrants will show up once you locate them, and they will show up exactly where they're located with latitude and longitude out there. You can even identify if you have properties that have, here you'll see a difference. There's a draft site, a DS you'll see in red. That means that there is a draft site there. However, the flow capability is lower. The symbols will come up in the NFPA coloring for the flow from that hydrant location. So you'll see there, this one is off by a couple feet somewhere. So, but you can even pull up right from the map if you wanted. I needed to see that, and I didn't load a picture of it. It's in there. So we're trying to hold this to time. We're kind of getting close to the end of the presentation here, and we're getting close to the point where we'd like to open it up for questions at this point.
Yeah, so what I have a bunch of questions that have been coming in from people, and I'm going to go back to our cover page here, and I'm going to start to answer some of the questions that have come in. Are there software or hardware requirements? No, just the ability to get online with any device. We have some departments that use cell phones. We've had a department last week that went out and were able to buy some Kindle Fires, 10-inch monitor, Kindle Fire tablets for $149 on Amazon, and hot link it to a phone. Another question is, can you view it offline if I don't have internet? Yes, pre-plans can be converted to PDF at any time and print it, emailed or stored locally.
We also wanted to mention to you, folks say, well, maybe I can't get online quite well from my individual device. Some departments have made a hotspot on their apparatus, and they put an antenna on there to get better coverage through the apparatus, and then they hotspot the individual devices through there.
Ben's asked, can you share this with other departments? Absolutely. That's the whole point of the software. It's unlimited free sharing with other departments, and that's if they're a Blazemark user or not. And it's up to you if you want to give them the ability to be author or read only. Another question that came in, this is from Paul, can this application pull up a pre-plan based on a CAD dispatch? The answer is yes. So we would have to talk with your CAD vendor, but what it can do is by latitude and longitude, it can automatically pull up the pre-plan, or if there's not a pre-plan for that dispatch location, it'll pull up the top 10 closest pre-plans, which we find to be very helpful in the field because there's critical data that's captured from other pre-plans that are in the system that might be critical to a building that's not pre-planned. So yes, Paul. Rich has asked, can the software tie into emergency reporting? We'd have to see the emergency reporting in the software, Rich, but certainly we can build bridges from certain information to be able to put into Blazemark, or for Blazemark to be something that can accompany what you're using.
If you do have existing pre-plans, they can be loaded in immediately if they're in PDF format. If they can be pulled out in a like an Excel spreadsheet or that type of thing, again, they can be imported into Blazemark very easily.
Dean wants to know, is this secure? And I have to say, absolutely. The base of our business was built on the security requirements of Fortune 100 companies and government. And if you go to the firestore.com, Blazemark page, there's a header that you can see. We have a little screen capture on this display. If you go on there, you can see a full FAQ sheet on data security. And if that doesn't answer your questions, we're happy to get our development our folks together with yours and hammer out whatever questions you might have at your IT department. Does this integrate with other apps? We've already answered that. Yes. Thank you for that question again. with a quick phone call with us, we can talk about what the requirements are for the other company and do a handoff back and forth. Another question, I have all my water supplies already in another application. Do I really need to re-enter them into Blazemark? Well, Greg mentioned we had a department last week that had 783 hydrants, and they had it in another app that I'm sure we all use for notification. We exported it out into a spreadsheet, and we uploaded it into Blazemark in about 7 minutes. And all of that can be done by you. If you're struggling with the online wizard that we have, then we certainly can walk you through that with our phone support or our online support in our chat room. Our website and the Blazemark application itself has a 24-hour chat intercom that you can do with us.
Another question that we often get asked is, how do I deal with a building with multiple roofs? The beauty about Blazemark is that it was built for complicated applications. It was built for a building that, say, was built in the 1920s with a heavy timber construction roof to start with, and then perhaps a loading dock was added later on that has a steel deck roof on it, and then perhaps another shed was added on the side of it with a lightweight wood truss roof. It's not a situation where you would pick one roof. You're able to put all of those roofs in and indicate where all those roofs are so that you can identify any particular building construction, any particular hazard you want, as many different things in any building as necessary.
Here's another question. Where is my data? What is the cloud? And if you're not familiar with the cloud, cloud computing is something that we're all using today. Probably you're using today through things like online banking, email. It's basically a storage area that your data is being secured. Our partner is Flexential, and basically they host 3 million square feet worth of facilities in 41 locations around the world. We have global customers at Blazemark all the way around the world, and the data is backed up in Flexential's data centers. If any of our clients ever want to take a visit, we're happy to take you there. We're very proud of our partnership with them and what we do there.
Also related to security is, as Jamie mentioned, we have Fortune 100 corporations that are using this as their emergency planning device. We're also being used by some major educational campuses. Some very large universities are using it. And one of the reasons that they selected it is because it is in accordance with NFPA 1620, and they wanted something that was compliant with NFPA software. But we've been heavily vetted by all of those organizations from a computer security, from an IT standpoint, and they're comfortable actually with us hosting their data on our systems. And really, as Jamie said, if you look up Flexential, Flexential is the name of the hosting. They're a global organization that we're probably one of their smallest customers.
So Ben wants to know, is there data center downtime? And the answer is no, because we have 41 data centers around the world that are backing each other up. There's zero downtime. We do some software updates around midnight periodically, and midnight Eastern Standard Time. And it doesn't stop you from being able to use the application at any time.
All our development work is done offline. If you're really into computers, we'd be happy to talk with you offline about that. But the development server is separate from our operational server. So development is done somewhere else, tested, checked, and then it's loaded over into the production server. So that's what keeps our downtime to a very minimum.
I just have, I guess, 2 questions at this point that have come through that are a little, we've covered a little bit in the past. And the questions are starting to slow down a little bit. What if I lose or break my hardware? If you have to understand that your information is not stored locally on your hardware. It's not on your laptop or tablet. It is stored in Blazemark. So that means you can access it in real time anywhere throughout the world, as long as you have the ability to get online. And breaking your hardware is not going to matter. You just pick another piece of hardware and start using it. The other question that is, what is required to support cloud service? So I guess this was answered a little bit earlier, Amanda, and that is there is no hardware or software required. So we do all of that heavy lifting for you by doing all the data backup, having all the servers, doing all the software development and download. You just need to be able to get to the internet, and it's a secure service. So nothing is required on your behalf, which we think is pretty smart at the end of the day. That means your department doesn't have to invest in large infrastructure, and we do all of that for you.
One of the things that you may look into if you want more information on accessing the cloud and internet-based solutions for the emergency services is if you look at firstnet.gov, they are in the process, and actually it's already live, developing a critical infrastructure specifically for emergency services organizations to allow you quick and easy access to the internet from almost anywhere in the country. So that's being developed, and we're simply taking advantage of that with our own product that's out there and data centers.
Well, as we're coming at the 30-minute mark, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and listen to what we had to say today. I want to thank the Fire Store and everybody here that's been so supportive. And they certainly now do everything but the truck now that they have Blazemark. And you can start today for as low as $995 in getting your pre-plans up and going so that everyone in your department and your mutual aid departments can start to see your pre-plans and help make everybody safe. Thank you, everybody.